What is up, math superstars? This is Mr. Peterson bringing to you Objective 6.14 Circle Graphs. So in this objective, you'll be able to construct your own circle graphs. You'll be able to draw conclusions and make predictions using circle graphs. And you'll be able to compare and contrast graphs that present information from the same data set. So that's when it's all done at the end of this objective. That is the goal. So I'll tell you a story. Robert wanted to know which sport was popular in his grade. So he created a survey to find out what sport was popular. So what he did was he said, okay, I'm going to decide from 3 sports: baseball, soccer, and football. And now I'm going to ask my friends which one they like the most. So that was the survey. And so what he did was he created a data table to show what data he actually collected. So there's actually numbers that he wrote down that we'll see in a second as far as which student picked their favorite sport. And what's going to happen, though, is that our friend Robert here, he got stuck. And so we're going to show him how to use his data that he collected to create a circle graph. So his first step here was that he got his data ready. So he was almost finished with this, but we have to do some fill-ins here. And so he had baseball, soccer, and football were his sports that he chose. You can see the number of students that chose those sports, but we need to figure out what are the total number of students that were surveyed. So all we do is we add these totals together. 10 plus 30 plus 20 equals 60 total students. Now we need to figure out what percent of the students chose each sport. And so what we do is we take baseball. So we'll start baseball had 10. Do 10 over 60 is a fraction. We divide the top and the bottom by 10 to simplify. So fraction is 1/6. And we can also find out our decimal and our percent. 1 divided by 6 equals 0.166 with a line over it. And for our percent, we just move our decimal over 2 places. Gives us 16 point, we'll round up to 7%. So 16.7% of the 6th graders that Robert surveyed chose baseball. So now we're going to go ahead and look at soccer. So the data he collected, there were 30 students who chose soccer. So we do 30 over 60. And we simplify, so divide the top and the bottom by 30 equals 1/2. We also know that as 0.50 as a decimal, and our percent is 50%. So now let's go ahead and take a look at football for his data here. So for football, it's 20 over 60. We divide the top and the bottom by 20 equals 1/3 is our fraction. So 1/3 as a decimal is 0.333 with a line over it. And that makes our percentage, move our decimal point over 2 places, is 33.3%. So what we do is we also have to do the total. The total percentage should always equal 300. So when we go ahead and check our math here, we do 16.7 plus 50 plus 33.3. When we add those together, they equal 100%. So we can tell Robert, hey, we did our math correctly because our final percentage for every circle graph is 100. So now our final step here is that we're going to build out our circle graph. So we have our answer key right here. So with this answer key, we're going to go ahead and fill in our 3 different categories here. So we have baseball, we have soccer, and we have football. And our fractions for these, baseball was 1/6, soccer was 1/2, football was 1/3. And we're going to give these 3 different colors here. So we're going to get baseball is going to be purple, soccer we're going to give it green, and football we're going to give it red. So in order to complete our circle graph, we need to find common denominators of our fractions. So we're going to take our 3 fractions here that we have. In our common denominator, 6, 2, and 3, we're going to use 6. So we're going to rewrite our equivalent fractions. 1/6 stays the same. 1/2, the equivalent fraction is 3/6. And for football, 1/3, the equivalent fraction is 2/6. So with this information here, 6 is our common denominator. So now what we have to do here on our circle graph is to create 6 equal parts. So we're going to do this. So we're going to use a straight edge, any kind of straight edge that you have here. I'm going to create my 6 equal parts. So I always start by cutting it in half. And then I say, okay, so I need to create my 6 equal parts here. So these parts need to be smaller than quarters, but bigger than eighths. So there's my 6 equal parts I have here. So now we're going to start to now color in our circle graph. So we'll start with baseball. Baseball is 1/6, so we're going to color in one piece of our circle graph here using purple, because that was the color we chose, or whatever color that you chose. So I'm going to shade this in purple. Excellent. I'm going to write baseball in the middle of it. Or you can write baseball on the outside and point to it, so however you'd like to do that. But this shows me now 1/6 of my circle graph is baseball. So we pick soccer. All right, so soccer is green, so that it's going to be 3/6 is what we're looking at next. So we're going to do, so that turns out to be 1/2. So we have 3/6 of our circle graph is going to be soccer. So we go ahead and color that in. And we're going to label this as soccer. And then the rest, so we have 1/3, so our fraction is 2/6. So 2/6 of our circle graph is going to be football. We're going to shade that one in red. We're going to label it football. So now from our data that we helped Robert with, we helped him construct our circle graph. So to recap, so you have to create a key. So we have our 3 categories. We have our fractions, find common denominators, which we did an excellent job at doing that. And then we just need to now draw out our circle graph. So this is the first part in doing circle graphs, is learning how to construct them. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try one on our own. So on the back of this page, you'll have one that you'll be able to try. So go ahead and follow the steps that we did in this video to help you. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment at the bottom. Hope you have a great rest of your class.